Who is the woman whose name resonates through the corridors of time as a symbol of beauty, power, and tragedy? This is Cleopatra, a woman who is much more than the myths and Hollywood glamour often surround her. Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, is a figure veiled in tales and legends. Yet beneath these stories lies a tale of intelligence, ambition, and political savvy. Contrary to popular belief, she was not just a beautiful queen but a shrewd and ambitious leader who sailed through the complex network of alliances, betrayals, and love affairs with cunning and skill, all in a bid to safeguard her kingdom. She was a linguist, a diplomat, a politician, who ruled in an era dominated by men, demonstrating exceptional capability and resolve. So it's time to step beyond the captivating allure and mystique that surrounds Cleopatra. Let's dissect her story, differentiating fact from the fictional tales that have built up over time. Let's delve into the life of Cleopatra VII, the woman of intellect, the astute politician, the queen whose determination to protect her kingdom defined her reign. This journey will uncover the authentic story of Cleopatra, separating the true queen from the bedazzling legend that history often portrays. As we venture deeper into the life of Cleopatra, it's important to understand the roots from which she sprung. Cleopatra was a descendant of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Macedonian Greek lineage that had taken the reins of Egypt after the death of Alexander the Great. The Ptolemies, although Greek, adopted the Egyptian custom of marrying within the family, leading to a complex and often treacherous web of family relations. Cleopatra was no exception to this rule, and her ascension to the throne was anything but smooth. Cleopatra's education was a significant part of her upbringing. She was not just a queen, she was a learned woman, a polymath. Her knowledge encompassed a vast array of subjects, from politics and philosophy to arts and sciences. She was a linguist, fluent in 9 languages, which was highly unusual for a woman or indeed a ruler of her time. This not only set her apart but also gave her a diplomatic advantage when dealing with foreign powers. When her father, Ptolemy XII, passed away, Cleopatra, at the age of 18, inherited a kingdom on the brink of collapse. The death of her father sparked a power struggle within the family, with Cleopatra and her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, both vying for control. The custom of the time dictated that Cleopatra marry her brother and rule as co-regents. Yet Cleopatra had other plans. She was not content to be a figurehead, she wanted to rule, and she would not allow her much younger brother to stand in her way. Despite these challenges, Cleopatra proved herself to be a formidable leader. She navigated through this treacherous political landscape with determination and cunning, outmaneuvering her opponents at every turn. But her journey to power was far from over. In the following scenes, we will explore how Cleopatra used her intelligence, her charm, and her political acumen to secure her place as one of the most influential rulers in history. As we delve further into Cleopatra's reign, we cannot ignore the pivotal role of one man in her life and rule, Julius Caesar. Their alliance was not merely a romantic liaison, but a strategic partnership that would change the course of history. Cleopatra's introduction to Caesar has become the stuff of legend. In 48 BC, when Caesar was in Egypt pursuing his rival Pompey, Cleopatra sought an audience with him. Not content with a conventional entrance, she had herself rolled up in a carpet and presented to Caesar as a gift. This dramatic gesture caught Caesar's attention, and the two quickly formed a close alliance. But this was more than just a personal connection. It was a calculated political move. Cleopatra needed Rome's support to solidify her position as queen, and Caesar was her ticket to that. For Caesar, an alliance with the Queen of Egypt meant access to Egypt's vast wealth and resources, a crucial advantage in his ongoing civil war against Pompey. Their alliance was cemented when Cleopatra gave birth to a son, Caesarion, whom she claimed was Caesar's child. Despite Caesar's refusal to publicly acknowledge Caesarion as his heir, Cleopatra remained undeterred. She envisioned a joint Roman-Egyptian empire ruled by her and her son. Their relationship brought stability to Egypt and secured Rome's support. Cleopatra was no longer just a queen, she was a player in the world of international politics, skillfully maneuvering between power structures to protect her kingdom. Their alliance, however, was not to last. Caesar's assassination in 44 BC threw Rome into chaos, and Cleopatra returned to Egypt, where she would face the next phase of her reign alone. But her alliance with Caesar had already set the stage for her next great political maneuver, one that would bring her into contact with another powerful Roman, Mark Antony. But that's a story for another scene. For now, let's delve deeper into Cleopatra's rise as a queen and her relentless efforts to secure her power and the future of Egypt. In the aftermath of Julius Caesar's death, Cleopatra found herself aligned with another powerful Roman, Mark Antony. A triumvir alongside Octavian and Lepidus in the Second Triumvirate, Antony was a man of immense power, and Cleopatra knew the strategic importance of forging an alliance with him. Their first meeting was in 41 BC in Tarsus, where Cleopatra arrived on her magnificent royal barge, dressed as the goddess Aphrodite. Her entrance was designed to captivate Antony, and it worked. The two soon became lovers and political allies. Together they posed a formidable challenge to Octavian, Antony's rival and Caesar's adopted son. Antony and Cleopatra combined their resources, with Antony providing military power and Cleopatra contributing Egypt's wealth and grain supplies. Their goal was to expand their influence across the Mediterranean and to create a powerful Roman-Egyptian empire ruled by their family. Their alliance was not just political, it was also deeply personal. Together, they had 3 children, Alexander Helios, Cleopatra Selene, and Ptolemy Philadelphus. Antony even publicly acknowledged Caesarion, Cleopatra's son from her relationship with Caesar, as Caesar's true heir, a move that outraged Octavian and the Roman elite. Antony and Cleopatra's vision was of a unified empire, where their children would rule over Roman and Egyptian territories. Their ambition, however, was not to be realized. Their combined forces were defeated by Octavian at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, marking the beginning of the end for both Antony and Cleopatra. But as we'll see in the following scenes, their alliance and the vision they shared for a joint Roman-Egyptian empire made an indelible mark on history, shaping Cleopatra's legacy. As the tension between Octavian and Mark Antony reached a boiling point, the stage was set for a colossal confrontation. In 31 BC, their forces met in a decisive naval battle off the coast of Actium, a pivotal moment that would change the course of history. Antony, alongside Cleopatra, commanded a larger but less maneuverable fleet, while Octavian's forces, under the command of his brilliant general Agrippa, were smaller but more agile. Despite their numerical superiority, Antony and Cleopatra's forces were outmaneuvered and defeated. This defeat was not just a military failure, but a result of a series of political betrayals and miscalculations. Antony, entranced by Cleopatra, had made decisions that alienated his allies in Rome. His public acknowledgement of Caesarion as Caesar's true heir was seen as a direct affront to Octavian. Moreover, his distribution of Roman and Egyptian territories to his children with Cleopatra, outlined in the infamous Donations of Alexandria, was perceived as an attempt to supplant traditional Roman authority with a new Hellenistic empire. In the wake of their defeat at Actium, Antony and Cleopatra retreated to Egypt. The end, when it came, was steeped in drama and symbolism. Reports suggest that Mark Antony, falsely informed that Cleopatra had killed herself, fell on his own sword. Cleopatra, upon learning of Antony's death, was devastated. Unable to bear the thought of being paraded through Rome in Octavian's triumph, she chose to end her own life. Legend has it that she died from the bite of an asp, a symbol of divine royalty. Their double suicide marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the beginning of Octavian's unchallenged rule as Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. In the next scene, we'll explore Cleopatra's rise as a queen, her strategic alliances, and the impact of her leadership on Egypt. After the tragic demise of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, Egypt was left vulnerable and leaderless. Octavian's forces quickly took control, marking the end of Ptolemaic rule and the beginning of Egypt's transition into a Roman province. As the victor, Octavian was in a position to shape the narrative about his defeated adversaries. Cleopatra, who had once been the most powerful woman in the world, was reduced to a seductress who used her beauty to manipulate powerful men. This narrative, propagated by Roman propaganda, served to undermine her political acumen and achievements. It painted her as a villain, a symbol of exotic and dangerous femininity, which was used to justify Rome's annexation of Egypt. However, despite Roman attempts to tarnish her image, Cleopatra's influence extended far beyond her life and reign. Her story was told and retold, evolving and adapting with each retelling. In art and literature, she was romanticized as a tragic heroine, her love story with Mark Antony captivating audiences for centuries. Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra immortalized her as a figure of intense passion and dramatic fate, while numerous paintings and sculptures have depicted her in various lights, from a seductive temptress to a powerful queen. In popular culture, Cleopatra has been portrayed by some of the biggest names in Hollywood. further cementing her status as an iconic figure. Despite the negative portrayal by Roman propaganda, modern interpretations often highlight her intelligence, political savvy, and leadership skills. She has become a symbol of female power and resistance against patriarchal authority, inspiring countless women throughout history. Cleopatra's legacy is complex and multifaceted. She was a woman who navigated the dangerous waters of politics and power with skill and determination. She was an astute leader who fought for her kingdom and her independence until the very end. And while her life was marked by tragedy and loss, her story continues to inspire and captivate, a testament to her enduring influence. As the curtain of history draws to a close on Cleopatra's reign, a new era of discovery emerges. Modern archaeologists, historians, and scholars tirelessly work to unearth the truth about the last queen of Egypt. One of the most intriguing quests of our time is the search for Cleopatra's final resting place. Despite numerous theories and expeditions, the exact location of her tomb remains a mystery. It's believed to be somewhere near her royal palace in Alexandria, now submerged under the Mediterranean Sea. Recent underwater excavations have revealed stunning artifacts and monuments, tantalizing clues in this ongoing search. Each discovery brings us one step closer to understanding the life and reign of this iconic queen. Yet, Cleopatra's story isn't just being rewritten in the sands of Egypt. In the halls of academia, a new perspective on her life is emerging. Modern historians have begun to shift focus from her romantic liaisons to her political acumen and leadership. Cleopatra was not just a seductress, but a stateswoman who employed sophisticated diplomatic strategies to preserve Egypt's autonomy. Her relationship with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, often romanticized, was also a strategic alliance. She was a shrewd negotiator who used her multilingual skills and charisma to her advantage, navigating the complex geopolitics of her time with finesse. Furthermore, Cleopatra's reign was marked by significant administrative reforms that stabilized Egypt's economy and improved the lives of her subjects. She was not just a queen, but a capable and efficient ruler who prioritized her kingdom's prosperity over personal gain. As we continue to peel back the layers of history, Cleopatra's image as a powerful and intelligent leader comes more into focus. We see a woman who defied the norms of her time, who wielded power with grace and determination, and who left an indelible mark on history. Our quest to understand Cleopatra is not just about finding her tomb, but about recognizing her true legacy. As we delve deeper into her story, we come to appreciate not just Cleopatra the queen, but Cleopatra the woman, a symbol of strength, resilience, and enduring influence. As we reflect on Cleopatra's journey, from a young queen to one of history's most iconic figures, we are reminded of her unparalleled strength and resilience. Cleopatra ascended to the throne at a young age, in a time of political instability and economic decline. Yet she navigated through these turbulent waters with unwavering resolve, using her intellect and diplomatic skills to restore Egypt's prosperity and stature. Her reign was marked by notable administrative reforms, strategic alliances, and skillful negotiations, underpinning her legacy as a shrewd leader and stateswoman. The tale of Cleopatra continues to captivate the world not just for its drama and romance, but for its significance in the annals of history. Her story serves as a powerful testament to the enduring influence of one woman's determination and courage amidst the tumultuous geopolitics of her time. Cleopatra's life teaches us about the complexities of power, the resilience required to maintain it, and the lasting legacy that can be left behind when one dares to defy the norms. As we continue to unravel the enigma of Cleopatra, we are left with an image of a woman who was much more than her often romanticized relationships. She was a formidable leader, a strategic thinker, and an influential figure who left an indelible mark on history. As we delve deeper into her story, we come to realize that Cleopatra's true power lay not in her beauty, but in her mind, a reminder that history is often shaped by those who dare to challenge the tides. Born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, Cleopatra was not destined for an ordinary life. This was a world of power and prestige, where rulers were seen as gods. But it was also a world of treachery and intrigue, where the throne could be lost in the blink of an eye. Cleopatra was born into this whirlwind of politics and power. Her father, Ptolemy XII, was a weak ruler, more interested in his own pleasures than the welfare of his kingdom. His negligence left Egypt in a state of economic decline and political instability, paving the way for Cleopatra's rise to power. From a young age, Cleopatra showed an aptitude for learning that far surpassed her siblings. She was educated by the finest tutors in Alexandria, learning everything from mathematics and astronomy to philosophy and art. But perhaps most impressively, she became fluent in 9 languages, a skill that would serve her well in her future negotiations with Rome. But Cleopatra's early life was not just about learning, it was also about survival. The Ptolemaic dynasty was rife with power struggles and family feuds. Cleopatra's own sister, Berenice, seized the throne from their father, only to be overthrown herself when Cleopatra was just 11 years old. At the tender age of 18, Cleopatra ascended to the throne alongside her 10-year-old brother, Ptolemy XIII. But Cleopatra was no puppet queen. She was determined to rule in her own right and set about restoring Egypt to its former glory. She embarked on economic reforms, improved trade relations, and initiated massive construction projects. She also cleverly used her image, presenting herself as the reincarnation of Isis, the Egyptian goddess of wisdom and magic, to solidify her power. Cleopatra was not just a queen, she was a scholar, a diplomat, a military strategist, and a goddess in the eyes of her people. She was a woman of immense intellect and ambition, ready to lead Egypt into a new era. But as we'll see, her reign was marked not only by triumph, but also by tragedy. For every step she took towards securing her power, there was always a shadow lurking in the background, waiting to strike. Cleopatra was a woman of immense intellect and ambition, ready to lead Egypt into a new era. In a world teetering on the brink of change, Cleopatra recognized the rising power of Rome. With a keen political mind and an eye on the future, she understood that alliances with Rome were not just beneficial, they were necessary. In Julius Caesar, Cleopatra found a powerful ally and a formidable lover. Their union was one of strategy and passion, a partnership that would bolster Egypt's position on the world stage. Cleopatra, ever the shrewd politician, used this relationship to her advantage, securing Caesar's support in her power struggle against her brother Ptolemy XIII. The birth of their son, Caesarion, further strengthened this alliance, tying Egypt and Rome together in a bond of blood. But it was more than just a political move. Cleopatra's alliance with Caesar also brought prosperity to her kingdom. Trade flourished, and Egypt's granaries filled to the brim, feeding not just her people, but also the vast Roman Empire. Yet, the winds of fate are fickle. After Caesar's assassination, Cleopatra found herself in a precarious position. But demonstrating her resilience and adaptability, she quickly formed another strategic alliance, this time with Mark Antony, one of Rome's most influential leaders. Their alliance, though marred by controversy and scandal, was a testament to Cleopatra's political acumen. It was a union that brought military support to Egypt and provided Antony with the wealth and resources of the Nile kingdom. Their relationship, passionate and filled with intrigue, would become one of the most legendary love stories in history. But it was more than just a love story. It was a strategic partnership that kept Egypt independent and prosperous during a time of great upheaval and change. Cleopatra skillfully navigated the turbulent waters of international politics, securing Egypt's position and her own. Throughout her alliances with Rome, Cleopatra proved herself to be a brilliant strategist and a cunning diplomat. She was a woman who understood the art of power and used it to her advantage, ensuring the survival and prosperity of her kingdom. Cleopatra skillfully navigated the turbulent waters of international politics, securing Egypt's position and her own. But every rise has its fall, and Cleopatra's was as dramatic as her ascent. In the complex game of power and politics, Cleopatra found herself facing challenges that even her sharp wit and strategic mind struggled to overcome. The death of Julius Caesar had left a power vacuum in Rome, and 2 men were vying to fill it. One of them was Mark Antony, Cleopatra's trusted ally and lover. The other was Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, who was cunning, ruthless, and determined to seize control. Cleopatra and Antony had formed a solid political alliance, their relationship deepened by mutual respect and a shared lust for power. Together, they dreamt of ruling a vast empire, but their dreams were not to be. The Battle of Actium in 31 BC saw Antony's forces decimated by Octavian's navy. This devastating defeat was a turning point, marking the beginning of the end for Cleopatra and Antony. In the aftermath of Actium, Antony, believing Cleopatra to be dead, fell on his own sword. His death was a blow from which Cleopatra could not recover. Not only had she lost a lover, but also a crucial ally in her fight against Octavian. With Antony's death, Cleopatra's situation became precarious. She was now alone, pitted against Octavian, who was bent on annexing Egypt to his Roman Empire. Cleopatra, the queen who had once held the reins of power, found herself backed into a corner. In the end, Cleopatra chose to meet her fate on her own terms. As Octavian's forces closed in, she committed suicide, reportedly by the bite of an asp. Her death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt. In death, as in life, Cleopatra was a figure of drama and intrigue. Her downfall was a tragic end to a life marked by ambition, intelligence, and political savvy. But even in her fall, Cleopatra left a lasting impression, her story a testament to her indomitable spirit and her place in history as a woman of remarkable power. What legacy did Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, leave behind? A complex figure cloaked in mystery, Cleopatra's legacy is as enigmatic as the queen herself. She reigned over Egypt for over 2 decades, a period marked by political intrigue, power struggles, and strategic alliances. But beyond the drama and theatrics of her life, Cleopatra was a woman of great intellect and political acumen. Cleopatra was a shrewd ruler who managed to maintain Egypt's independence and prosperity amid the rising power of Rome. She was a diplomat and a strategist, using her relationships with key Roman figures to her advantage. Her liaisons with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony were not just romantic entanglements, but political alliances that reinforced her authority and influence. Cleopatra was also a patron of the arts and sciences, fostering a cultural renaissance in Alexandria. Her reign was a golden age for Egypt, with significant advancements in architecture, literature, and medicine. Even as Rome's shadow loomed large, Cleopatra ensured that Egypt remained a beacon of knowledge and culture. But Cleopatra's legacy extends far beyond her accomplishments as a queen. Over the centuries, she has been immortalized in literature, art, and popular culture. From Shakespeare's tragic heroine to Hollywood's glamorous queen, Cleopatra's image has been reinvented time and again. Yet these portrayals often overshadow the real Cleopatra, a woman of intellect and political prowess. Unfortunately, Cleopatra's story has also been subject to misinterpretation and mythologizing. Her beauty and romantic liaisons have been sensationalized, often at the expense of her political achievements. But as we delve deeper into her life and reign, we uncover a woman who defied the norms of her time, asserting her power in a male-dominated world. Cleopatra's legacy is a testament to her enduring influence. Despite the challenges and controversies that marked her reign, she left an indelible mark on history. She navigated the choppy waters of politics with skill and foresight, leaving a rich cultural and political legacy that continues to resonate today. Cleopatra was not just a figure of legend, but a woman of intellect and power who left an indelible mark on history.